Hey friends, I had a chance this weekend to sit down with some of my amazing campaign volunteers and my husband, and we were just talking about my work in public education, and he said that maybe people don't know about the work I did for FCPS back in 2015 and 2016. So I thought I'd make a little video about it. So when my daughter, who's now in 7th grade, first started kindergarten, I remember walking her to school with my husband and feeling like, yes, we finally made it. We are public school parents. After all this time in my career in public education policy, I was finally going to experience what it was like to be a parent of a public schooler. And I was like, I'm just going to kind of chill out and just absorb it all and just kind of let it ride, like enjoy it. And barely 2 months later, it was announced that a large sum of money, I think it was $80 million, was going to be proposed to be cut from the Fairfax school's budget. So here I am, parent of a kindergartner. I don't know anything about, this particular budget and the school division. So I just started searching online and Googling, and I ended up finding this parent in my community who was equally as concerned. And I remember I was in Rexall Pharmacy in Vienna picking up something at the pharmacy, and I found her number and I called her. I was like, hey, I'm Melanie, and I saw your number and I just want to know, what can we do? Let's get together. So that grew into a 4-person leadership team, and we developed this phrase called #IamFCPS. And I guess hashtags weren't super common back then, I don't know, but it was IamFCPS. And these 4 ladies, these 3 ladies and I together, we got parents activated and residents and teachers and staff and just said, no, we are not going to spend one more year in an underfunded budget. So we just made things up as we went along, but we had lots of skills and communications. We used our networks and worked with other parents and educator groups, other groups fighting for, keeping our 4th grade strings and our world language programs and athletics, things that we should never, ever consider cutting. So by the time January 2016 came around and Superintendent Garza was going to introduce her budget to the school board, as happens every year, the superintendent, it's the first meeting in January, and we had a pep rally for the budget. We got the Madison Warhawk drumline, plus all 4 major news stations to show up, and we packed Luther Jackson Middle School gym and auditorium with hundreds of parents and supporters. And it is the only time, unfortunately the first time and the last time, I've ever seen such a turnout for a budget presentation. But this is where the heart of our schools is. I mean, what gets funded gets done. So we rallied, we sent letters, we had this software that sends emails to all your elected officials. We showed up at meetings, we did more media, more parent involvement, and we were successful. And we, for the first time in, I think it was a decade, there was not a cut to the budget. Now, it wasn't fully funded, and what our group ended up highlighting for the County Board of Supervisors, who are the actual funders, is each year, the county board does raise the amount of funds somewhat for public schools, but each year the public schools ask for more because costs increase and the price of things, but also as we identify more kids with their needs and we know what works, sometimes that takes more of an investment. So that was 2016, and every now and then those memories pop up on my timeline, and these 3 gals I'm still very good, close friends with. The last one is having her child finish up at FCPS, and I'm the one still remaining with my 7th grader and 4th grader. So it's just a little history, and I still have the website. I put the link, that's up just for posterity, but it does still describe a lot of information about the budget process. So show up, learn, ask questions, be part of it, and that's about IamFCPS.